Hello everyone, I am Kapila here, your English teacher, and today we'll take up the chapter The Fun They Had. This chapter is all about futuristic schools, how the teachers would be replaced by mechanical teachers, there would be robots who would be teaching children, there would be no books, so it's all about that. And there are two children of future over here and the story revolves around them. Let us begin with the chapter. I don't have the book, so I have downloaded the book in my mobile. Similarly, you can also download from the link given in the video. Margie even wrote about it that night in her diary. On the page headed 17th May 2157. Okay, so that's the year 2157. She wrote, "Today Tommy found a real book." So the story has begun. It's in future. The setup is there of the future. There is Margie, a girl, and she's writing in her diary about a real book that has been found by Tom. It was a very old book. Margie's grandfather once said that when he was a little boy, his grandfather told him that there was a time when all stories were printed on paper. They turned the pages, which were yellow and crinkly. And it was awfully funny to read words that stood still instead of moving the way they were supposed to on a screen, And then when they turned back to the page before, it had the same words on it that it had had when they read it the first time. So, the book that they found, it was a real book with pages and with the words printed on it. It was very weird for them. The pages were all yellow and they had folds because it was really very old, and they had heard it from their grandfather's grandfather. They had passed on that once the children used to read from books. So they found, and it was very weird for them to see that book because the words which were there on the book, they were not moving, they were fixed and they were printed at one place. And when they turned the pages and they came back to the previous page that they had turned, they found that the same words, they appeared again over there. So that is why it was very weird for them to see the printed real book. "Gee," said Tommy, "what a waste. When you are through with the book, you just throw it away. I guess our television screen must have had 1,000,000 books on it, and it's good for plenty more. I wouldn't throw it away." "Same with mine," said Margie. She was 11 and hadn't seen as many telebooks as Tommy had. He was 13. She said, "Where did you find it?" "In my house." He pointed without looking because he was busy reading. "In the attic." "What's it about?" "School." So now Margie and Tommy both were conversing. They were talking to each other what a waste these books were, and after reading the book it had to be thrown, whereas their telebooks, they had millions and millions of books in them and they wouldn't throw the book away. And then Margie asked Tommy where did he find it, and he was half lost because he was reading the book, so he answered in bits and bits that he found it in his house there in the attic. Margie was scornful. "School? What's there to write about school? I hate school." Now, because she hated school, that is why she was having that kind of a scornful expression there on the face, which showed dislike towards it. Margie always hated school, but now she hated it more than ever. The mechanical teacher had been giving her test after test in geography, and she had been doing worse and worse, until her mother had shaken her head sorrowfully and sent for the county inspector. So already she hated the school, and the mechanical teacher had been giving her homework again and again and again and again. She was doing bad and bad and bad until finally the mother called for the county inspector so that something could be done with the mechanical teacher. Maybe something was wrong with it. He was a round little man with a red face and a whole box of tools with dials and wires. He smiled at Margie and gave her an apple, then took the teacher apart. The teacher was a mechanical teacher, a machine it was, a robot, so the parts were taken away. Margie had hoped He wouldn't know how to put it together again, like all the children would wish. Similarly, Margie also wished that the county inspector should not be able to remember how to assemble the parts again. But he knew how, all right, and after an hour or so, there it was again. So again the teacher was ready, large and black and ugly. Why? Because she dislikes, that is why she is describing in that manner. With a big screen on which all the lessons were shown and the questions were asked. That wasn't so bad. The part Margie hated most was the slot where she had to put homework and the test papers. She always had to write them out in a punch code they made her learn when she was 6 years old. And the mechanical teacher calculated the marks in no time. So what she hated most about the mechanical teacher was not the appearance alone and all that. Rather, what she hated most was the slot where the homework and the test papers had to be kept, and she used to write those in a punch code, and that punch code was made her to be learned by her at the age of 6 years. So that was what she hated the most, that slot where she had to keep that. And in no time, within minutes, the mechanical teacher would calculate the scores. So this was very hateful about that mechanical teacher. The inspector had smiled after he had finished and patted Margie's head. He said to her mother, "It's not the little girl's fault, Mrs. Jones. I think the geography sector was geared a little too quick. Those things happen sometimes. I've slowed it up to an average 10-year level. Actually, the overall pattern of her progress is quite satisfactory." And he patted Margie's head again. So now after he assembled the mechanical teacher, he told what the problem was to the mother, that it was not the girl's fault, rather it had quickened up. The program that was there in the mechanical teacher, that was quickened up, and that is why it must have leveled up, and so he had leveled it down at the age, at the level of the child of the age of 10. So now everything would be okay and her progress was quite good in the subject. Margie was disappointed. She had been hoping they would take the teacher away altogether. They had once taken Tommy's teacher away for nearly a month because the history sector had blanked out completely. So she said to Tommy, "Why would anyone write about school?" So what are the reasons why she said the sentence there that why anyone would write about the school is because of all these reasons. And she was hoping that on her time the mechanical teacher got so quickly it got ready, and when it was the time of her brother, then for 1 month it was taken away because the whole sector, the history sector, had blanked out. So she was wishing the same for herself also. So these are the various reasons why she hated the school so much, and why she said the sentence that why would anyone write any book on school, because of the appearance, because of the slot of homework and all, why she was repeatedly given homework, and these are certain reasons that you have to write if there is any question in the examination. Tommy looked at her with very superior eyes. "Because it's not our kind of school, stupid. This is the old kind of school that they had hundreds and hundreds of years ago," he added loftily, pronouncing the word carefully, "centuries ago." Margie was hurt. "When I don't know what kind of school they had all that time ago." She read the book over his shoulder for a while, then said, "Anyway, they had a teacher." So now Tommy explained it to Margie that they had to write about school because it is not some usual school. It's not an ordinary school. The school is really special, and the school has a teacher also, and that is the reason why they had to write about the school. Sure, they had a teacher, but it wasn't a regular teacher. It was a man. A man. How could a man be a teacher? Well, he just told the boys and girls things and gave them homework and asked them questions. So now Tommy was explaining to Margie that it was not a normal school, and the teacher was there, and the teacher was a man, And Margie couldn't believe that. She asked how a man could be there, a teacher. And then Tommy replied that the man only did this, that he told certain things to the children. He asked certain questions and then he gave homework. So this was what they understood after Tommy had read the book. A man isn't smart enough. Sure he is. My father knows as much as my teacher. He knows almost as much, I bet. Margie wasn't prepared to dispute that. She said, I wouldn't want a strange man in my house to teach me. Now, because Tommy said that yes, a man knows better than the teacher, because my father also knows better than my teacher, so Margie did not want to have an argument on this topic. So that is why she changed the topic and she said, no, I don't want a strange man to come to my house and teach. Tommy screamed with laughter. You don't know much, Margie. The teachers didn't live in the house. They had a special building and all the kids went there. And all the kids learned the same thing? Sure, if they were the same age. But my mother says a teacher has to be adjusted to fit the mind of each boy and girl it teaches, and that each kid has to be taught differently. So now Tommy laughed and told her that it was not the teacher who lived in the houses. Rather, there was a special building and the teacher was there in that building and the children used to go there. To which Margie replied that her mother told her that the teachers had to be fitted according to the child's capacity and the child's IQ, because it was a mechanical teacher but that was a human, so the things were really different. Just the same, they didn't do it the way then. If you don't like it, you don't have to read the book. I didn't say I didn't like it, Margie said quickly. She wanted to read about those funny schools. They weren't even half finished when Margie's mother called Margie, school. Margie looked up. Not yet, Mama. Now, said Mrs. Jones. And it's probably time for Tommy too. Margie said to Tommy, can I read the book some more with you after school? So, this is what is happening. They were talking about the school, they were sharing with each other and they were giving their own views and ideas about it, and that was the time that they were intervened by the mother's voice, and mother called out that was their school time, so they had to go. And Tommy said that okay fine, Margie said that Margie asked Tommy if she could read the book sometime later after the school got over. Maybe, he said nonchalantly. He walked away whistling, the dusty old book tucked beneath his arm. So like all brothers and sisters, they have those things between them. Similarly, Tommy also here tucked the book under his shoulder, here in the armpits, and then he went away nonchalantly, without showing any interest and without answering, okay, maybe you'll read the book sometime later, like that it was. So he went away with that. Margie went into the schoolroom. It was right next to her bedroom, and the mechanical teacher was on and waiting for her. It was always on at the same time every day except Saturday and Sunday. So except Saturday and Sunday, it was on at the same time and the mechanical teacher was ready for Margie. Because her mother said little girls learn better if they learned at regular hours. So why it was on at the same time every day? It was because the mother told her that if the little girls, they learned at regular hours, then the learning was much better. The screen was lit up and it said, today's arithmetic lesson is on the addition of proper fractions. Please insert yesterday's homework in the proper slot. So that day when she went there, she found that the mechanical teacher told her it was an arithmetic lesson and she was asked to put the homework in the slot. Margie did so with a sigh. She was thinking about the old schools they had when her grandfather's grandfather was a little boy. All the kids from the whole neighborhood came, laughing and shouting in the schoolyard, sitting together in the schoolroom, going home together at the end of the day. They learned the same things, so they could help one another with the homework and talk about it. So while the teacher was speaking about it, about the fractions and this and that, she was not listening. She was busy thinking about the old schools, how happy those children were. They all went together, they played, they laughed, they did naughty acts there, and they studied the same things. So the homework was also same and they could help each other. So all those thoughts, they were going on in the mind of Margie while the mechanical teacher was taking up the lesson. And the teachers were, the mechanical teacher was flashing on the screen. When we add fractions 1 upon 2 and 1 upon 4, Margie was thinking about how the kids must have loved it in the old days. She was thinking about the fun they had. So the teacher there was having 1 upon 4, 1 upon 2 addition and this and that. But Margie was least interested. She was only thinking how the children of the old days must be having fun in the schools. Now let us do the questions of working with text. Question 1. How old are Margie and Tommy? Margie is 11 years old and Tommy is 13. What did Margie write in her diary? Margie wrote in her diary that that day Tommy had found a real book. Had Margie ever seen a book before? No, Margie had never seen a book before. What things about the book did she find strange? She found it strange that the book had words printed on it which were fixed and were not moving, and when they turned the previous page, they could find the same words that were printed earlier at the same place, and also the yellow color of the pages and the folds and that they were crinkly. So that was weird for Margie. What do you think a telebook is? A telebook is a book which appears there on the screen with the ruling words on it. Right? That is a telebook. So it is mechanical. It is not a physical book with paper and words printed on it. Where was Margie's school? Did she have any classmates? Margie's school was next to her bedroom. She did not have any classmates. What subjects did Margie and Tommy learn? Margie and Tommy learned geography, history and mathematics. Now let us come to the reference to context here. First one, I wouldn't throw it away. Who says these words? Tommy says these words. What does it refer to? It refers to the mechanical teacher. What is being compared with by the speaker? The mechanical teacher is being compared to the physical book that Tommy had found. Sure, they had a teacher, but it wasn't a regular teacher. It was a man. Who does they refer to? They refers to the children of the past. What does regular mean here? Here, regular means the mechanical teacher. What is it contrasted with? It is contrasted with a man. The regular teacher is contrasted with a man. Now, let us come to the other set of question answers. What kind of teachers did Margie and Tommy have? Margie and Tommy had mechanical teachers which were having big black screens on which the words rolled and appeared, and they were ugly. They had slots there where the homework and the test papers could be kept and the calculations could be made by the mechanical teacher for those tests and homeworks within seconds. Why did Margie's mother send for the county inspector? Margie's mother sent for the county inspector because again and again it was giving geography test to Margie, and Margie was not able to clear the test. Again and again she was dropping out. Okay, she was not able to score good marks. She was performing bad. What did he do? He is the county inspector here. So the county inspector came and he disassembled the mechanical teacher, and he found that it had been leveled up, and that is the reason why she was not able to perform well. So he leveled it down to the average level of a 10-year-old child so that she could perform well according to her mental level and her age. Why was Margie doing badly in geography? What did the county inspector do to help her? So I've already answered this in the previous question. The same you are supposed to write over here, that this is because it has leveled up, she was not performing well and he leveled it down. What had once happened to Tommy's teacher? Once Tommy's mechanical teacher had blanked out completely with the history section, and so it had to be taken away for a month. Did Margie have regular days and hours for school? If so, why? Yes, Margie had regular days and hours for school because her mother believed that little girls learned better when they learned at regular hours. How does Tommy describe the old kind of school? Tommy described the old kind of schools in this manner, that there was a huge building, and from the neighborhood the children would come, they would read the same lessons, they would sit all together, they laughed together, and a man would teach them, give them certain notes, ask them questions, give them homework, and they did the same kind of homework also. How does he describe the old kind of teachers? He told that the old kind of teachers were humans and they gave the lectures or the ideas or the propositions to the children, then asked questions and gave homework to the children. Now let us do the other set of question answers. Question 1. What are the main features of the mechanical teachers and the schoolrooms that Margie and Tommy have in the story? We've already discussed everything about the mechanical teacher, how it is black, ugly, screen, the rolling of the words there on the screen, all that you're supposed to write along with the slot and all. So you write that. And the schoolroom there was next to her bedroom and she was all alone there, all that you will write. And it has to be descriptive. You have to write in about 100 to 120 words. So you have to describe it completely. Next question. Why did Margie hate school? Why did she think the old kind of school must have been fun? Now this also we have done already. Margie hated school because she was all alone and the mechanical teacher would give her homework again and again and again, and she took a lot of time in doing the homework, but the mechanical teacher would do the homework, would check the homework in just few seconds, and also she got bored with the mechanical teacher there. And when she came to know about the old schools, she was really happy. She started thinking how the children must be having fun with each other, how all went together and they all sat together, they read the same lessons, they had the same homework, how they could share, they played together. So all that she was thinking, that they were having fun. Do you agree with Margie that schools today are more fun than the school in the story? Give reasons for your answer. So now what do you think? Whether the present day schools are much better, they have a lot of fun, or the future school that has been depicted here in the story? Would you like to be there in a house there where you just have one single room and a machine is teaching you, or you would like to come to school? So that you are supposed to write. Okay. Now let us do working with language. Here we have an exercise where you have to fill in the blank with the words which are given over here. So it's an exercise based upon adverbs. Adverbs are those words that add something more to the meaning of a verb. Okay. So here you will see certain words are given in the box. You read them carefully, and adverbs can be made by adding y or ly to the adjective also. Okay, so that way you will make, the words are already given over here, you just have to fill in the blanks. I'll just do the first sentence for you and you can continue with the others. The report must be read dash so that performance can be improved. So many words are here and you have to choose one. So the word is completely over here. Similarly, you do the others. Now, if you see the next part of the exercise, it is again based upon adverbs only. Certain adjectives are given to you and you have to make adverbs from them. So, make adverbs by adding ly or y according to the word that is given over here. The first one I'll do for you, angry, angrily. Similarly, you will make the others. Now, let us do the next exercise. The next exercise is based upon the concept of conditional sentences. The sentence here has got two parts. The first part, or the part that starts with if or unless, that is the condition that something is going to happen, then there will be a result of it. So the second part is the result. The first part that begins with if or unless, that has the verb in the present tense. Okay, so now let us read an example and see how whatever I have told you just now, there is a condition and the possible result of that condition is there. So these are termed as conditional sentences where we use if or unless. Okay, now we'll read an example. Imagine that Margie's mother told her, you will feel awful if you don't finish your history lesson. This is a conditional sentence, but because don't is there, so it is negative conditional. Now, she could also say, you will feel awful unless you finish your history lesson. So what I told you just now is here in both these sentences. If is there in the first one and unless has been used here in the second one. That part tells us about the condition, one part tells us, and the other part tells us about the result. Okay. Now see, here the exercise is given to us and you are supposed to fill in, keeping in mind the concept of the conditional sentence. If I don't go to Anu's party tonight, then what can happen? The possible result you are supposed to write. So you have different minds, you will be thinking differently and you will write your different answer over here. Now the next question is writing section question, and here you have to write a letter to the writer here of this chapter, that is Isaac Asimov, and you have to request him to send you the new edition of his stories so that you may read, okay, through a VPP. So that letter writing you will be doing, and the format is of the formal letter only. That is, first you will write sender's address, then date, then the receiver's address, you write the subject, you write salutation, you write the whole body, and at the end you write the subscription. That's all for now. See you in the next video. अब मैं जाती हूँ खाना बनाने।